All right, we are back for here another episode of Night Brothers Commentary. It's been a while, Matt. We've had a lot of things going on in our personal lives, moving around, if you will. Matt, congratulations. You want to tell the audience what happened with you here in the last month or so?
Yeah, I basically got my first apartment.
Yeah.
Finally.
Very exciting. Matt is out on his own, got his own apartment. Little nerve-wracking?
Oh, a little bit.
A little nerve-wracking. And I actually took his old room.
Yeah.
What do you know? It all comes full circle. So, no, congrats to Matt for his first apartment out on his own. It's very exciting. So that's kind of been the reason why we haven't put out any content here as of late. A lot of stuff going on, moving around and getting things situated, but we're excited to be back. I think we spent some time in a recent podcast. I don't know if it was the most recent one, sort of going over WandaVision.
Yeah, that wasn't the most recent one. I think the most recent one was public transportation.
Oh yeah. We've had a couple in there, but I guess where I'm going with that is we're gonna get back into the Marvel theme. Black Widow's been streaming on Disney Plus. It's in theaters right now. The Loki series is 5 episodes in, maybe 6.
Well, we've already had all 6 episodes.
Oh, we have had 6.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I'm behind.
Yeah, you are way behind.
Well, yeah, you can criticize me. That's okay. Like I said, we've had some busy things going on, so I need to get caught up on Loki.
Yeah.
We've already touched on WandaVision, but there was a series in between, which was Falcon the Winter Soldier, and Matt really wanted to kind of dive into that tonight. A really compelling series, with some characters that I guess were maybe B or C characters, not necessarily, neither one of them were part of the original Avengers or have had their own, I guess you could say Winter Soldier kind of had a feature title partner with Captain America, but really giving them some more screen time, which was cool to kind of get a little bit deeper into their character arcs. So we're gonna dive into that tonight. Matt, you've got the notes, so why don't you kick us off on where we're starting?
Yeah, so basically the first couple of episodes are really just kind of setting up the plot with regards to the terrorist group known as the Flag Smashers. So essentially it literally just kind of introduces us to Carly Morgenthau. It also kind of introduces us to John Walker, who is technically the second Captain America, then later turned U.S. agent.
Yep.
And then it also kind of delves a little bit into Winter Soldier's background, as well as what's going on with him currently. Like, he's now seeing a therapist. He's trying to right his wrongs for his time in Hydra. He's also he also went on a date.
Well,
which
again,
was
it's that
kind of interesting.
It's that deeper character arc that getting a little bit deeper and wider into their story, and I found it really interesting. I'm a big Bucky Barnes fan.
Oh, I love the Winter Soldier. I mean, Sebastian Stan, the troubled loner with a dark, shady past, that just kind of resonates with me, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, I can see that, certainly. I mean, and he's got, you can tell we've seen him transition, really, from where we were first introduced to him, in the Captain America film.
Yeah.
And he was almost, there wasn't a lot of human to him, right? It was almost like he was a human, like not, didn't really show any emotion. It was just sort of, he was a I shouldn't say that because Taskmaster is an actual character, but he was really just, fulfilling his requirements.
Essentially, yeah.
So to speak.
Not necessarily. I mean, he definitely had a personality before he got brainwashed.
Oh, right, no doubt.
Yeah.
No.
But it just didn't, it was kind of like a sideshow to the main story in the first Captain America movie.
I was going to say, I'm talking about Bucky Barnes and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
to me
are like two different characters.
Two different characters. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And when we got introduced to Winter Soldier, I realized he had been in the series prior, but to me that was a different character. Now, in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, you're kind of seeing this almost blend, right, of this Winter Soldier character who has this, past of being brainwashed and all this trauma, and then this human element that is kind of the Bucky Barnes side of the coin, and it's really kind of meshing together in this story. And I thought it was, I thought it was really neat.
So kind of moving forward, where I think the plot really starts to pick up is when Sam, or Falcon, basically, it's still at this point, recruits Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh, I love Zemo so much.
And for those of you who don't know, Baron Zemo, who was essentially sort of the main
villain in Captain America: Civil War, if you will.
Yeah, he was sort of the antagonist that was working behind the veil, pulling the strings, and really brought this culmination amongst the Avengers that created this great divide.
Yeah.
Right. And that was his goal. And he spelled that out at the end of the film. Civil War is one of my favorite.
Oh, I mean, Civil War is probably one of the better ones in my opinion.
Yeah. And I was glad that they brought him back because I felt like there was more to his story.
Oh, I mean, there was just so much more to his story. There was no way they were just going to leave him as a one-off. Yeah. I mean, Daniel played the character too.
It was great.
It was just great. It really was.
It worked. It was believable. It was, you felt that he had this, this pain of losing his family that was driving him, and you could understand. I don't want to say understand, but you could certainly, see where he was coming from. And I think Marvel does a good job of that. Generally, I think they make their villains have some endearing characteristics.
Oh yeah.
Which is why people like characters like Baron Zemo, and they we fall in love with the villains as much as we do the heroes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, they basically took his character from Civil War and almost just cranked it up to 11 in this show. Yeah, because I mean, you saw how cunning and manipulative he is, but in a sense, you also see that he does have a point with regards to superpowers and superhuman abilities, because it's like it's not just the powers that make people dangerous. It's the personalities that are attached to it. And you really see that play out with Carly Morgenthau and his flag smashers.
Yeah, and to a degree, you see it play out with the new Captain America.
Yeah, John Walker.
Yeah.
Because when he takes the serum late in the series, I mean, you really see how dark and twisted he really is.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean, a lot of that is just a lot of that was just war trauma.
I would say PTSD.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has PTSD. you saw that as soon as he hides it pretty well in the first couple of episodes.
Right.
But
I want to ask you a question, because as this story unfolded, this was something that I talked to Ryan, our brother, about.
Yeah.
I was curious if you thought and maybe this has been confirmed in other threads and podcasts, I'm not sure, but it seemed to me like, as the Flag Smashers were kind of going around, that there was almost, it looked like there could have been originally, when they shot the film, a storyline that would have been centered around sort of a pandemic or a disease or something like that. Did you pick any of that up at all?
Not really, in my opinion. I mean, maybe they did do that.
Yeah.
And basically everything that happened with COVID, they were like, we got
to write that out.
Yeah, we got to write that out.
I know there were some rumors and things floating around when the series was airing, so I was just curious your thoughts. But
I mean, I think I might have heard it, but I didn't really pick that up. I think they wrote it out pretty well.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, they really just changed it very well to basically saying, hey, instead of dealing with a pandemic, we're going to deal with basically the fallout of
super soldier serum.
Well, not just that, but also just, the super soldier serum is just kind of like a small, it's basically like the subplot within the main plot of the whole point of the Flag Smashers, which is essentially trying to give everybody a home. Yeah. Because a lot of people who have come back from the blip, essentially.
Right.
They're basically homeless and they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So so the whole point of the Flag Smashers is to say, hey, we've come back from the blip. We have nowhere to go. We want a home. We want stability. Yeah. And we see tearing down the Earth's borders as the best way to do that.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree, man. Yeah.
And I actually kind of enjoyed that stuff. I kind of enjoyed that, because it's like, well, that's probably how we would be on this Earth. It's the same thing happened to us, really, when you think about it.
Well, it certainly would push. It would push us all to have to figure out how do we make this work.
Exactly.
In terms of you take away half of the population,
and then
things change, and then all of a sudden bring it back, and now you've got a a world of hurt, so to speak. So, anyways, let's kind of sticking back with the plot line and where things are going. What kind of clue us in a little bit more.
Yeah. So, kind of moving forward with the plot, we are reintroduced to Sharon Carter again. Mm-hmm. And
where was she at? Madripoor?
Yeah, Madripoor.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, it's kind of like the way Zemo described it, it basically reminded me of Tortuga from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I never thought of that,
but basically just kind of like in a Asian Pacific setting as opposed to essentially the Caribbean.
Yeah,
I just kind of had that feel about it, if you will. And then I'm trying to think about what else happens. Eventually, we find the doctor who recreated the serum.
Yep.
And then basically he gets shot.
Yep. How many vials were there that were remaining after that?
I want to say it was like somewhere between 15 and 20, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I want to say. I could be wrong. And then eventually we catch up with Morgenthau again. Mm-hmm. Zemo destroys most of the serum, but
besides
one.
Yep.
Yeah. And basically gets
I thought Baron Zemo kind of derailed that. I felt like Falcon was maybe actually connecting with Morgenthau.
Here's the thing. I don't think it was Zemo. I mean, Zemo actually played it pretty well. It was John Walker who basically.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, John Walker is the one who basically screwed that up.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Zemo actually played it pretty well.
Yeah, you're right. I misremembered that, but yeah, that was kind of a pivotal turn because then John Walker gets the
serum.
Yeah,
and basically, I mean, because you have to keep in mind, I mean, he was kind of iffy about taking the serum.
Yeah,
because he asked his friend Battlestar. I'm kind of forgetting his name, but we'll just call him Battlestar for now.
Yeah,
and he's like, dude, take it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's basically.
Well, he asked it in a way that was, like didn't necessarily reveal that he had access to it.
Yeah, it was more just like
hypothetical.
Yeah, it's like, what would you do? Like, would you take the serum if you had it? It's basically how he phrased it.
Yeah.
And Battlestar said, well, essentially, power just makes someone more of who they are.
Yeah.
And that's essentially Zemo's point.
Yeah.
I mean,
that we're flawed.
Yeah.
And sometimes who we are isn't necessarily needing to be amplified.
Exactly. Because all versions of the serum essentially work as amplifiers. I mean, that's basically the main point that the main doctor from the first Captain America movie, I'm kind of forgetting his name, but
yeah,
but that was the point he was trying to make in his speech to Steve before he got the serum. So
yeah,
and we see that play out with Zemo and basically his motivations.
And it's a big reason why Captain America was chosen.
Yeah,
right. Because if you look at Captain America Steve Rogers versus Captain America
John Walker,
yeah, two very different backgrounds from a personality standpoint.
Oh yeah,
right. And that doctor's name is going to drive me nuts because it's right on the tip of my tongue. But when he was working with Captain America and kind of vetting him out on the front side, he was like, these are the reasons why I chose you.
Yeah.
Because you are embodying all these great character profiles that we want to see amplified.
Yeah.
And, it's unfortunate that with, with the second coming of Captain America, we get the almost iconic parts of this series, but also one of the more
dark parts,
dark and thought-provoking scenes at the end of can't remember if it was episode
5.
Okay, episode 5, and
no, you're right. It was episode 4.
Yeah, it was. I knew it was one of those, but I mean,
it was episode 4 where John Walker uses the shield to kill one of the Flag Smashers in front of everybody.
And it was really, for me, that was like
wow.
Yeah, it was a wow moment. It was kind of a you could see how they were framing the entire series, which is. It almost, and I don't, in real life necessarily agree with this, but it almost was proving, well, certainly proving Zemo's point.
Exactly.
And it was kind of one of those, didn't really know how to process it type of scenes.
Yeah.
But I think that's what the producers probably wanted.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was kind of where we landed at the end of episode 4, Matt. What, where do we go from there as far as the end of the series?
Yeah. So basically Sam goes back to New Orleans, works on his boat to help his sister out.
Yeah. His sister was kind of an underlying plot thread. That was,
it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't exactly like, it wasn't really thought provoking or.
No, I think honestly, I think I could have done a little bit better job with his story.
Yeah.
In this show, I think it was good, but just not necessarily.
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like Thor: The Dark World mediocre, but it wasn't like Captain America: Civil War thought provoking.
Right.
Like, whoa. Okay, Mike. Like, man, this is like some really deep shit here going.
Yeah, I just didn't feel the connection necessarily.
Exactly.
And they've done this, I think, with a lot of different characters that we've seen throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they've tried to again, humanize them. They're these superheroes, and we see them out, on the battlefield, etc., solving these big problems. But you look to Iron Man, and that's classic example with him and Pepper, and when he's got the family. I mean, they've done it. Look at
or his PTSD in Iron Man 3.
Yeah. Hawkeye, Ronin, you see how that family dynamic, impacted his storyline there.
Yeah.
Obviously, family is a big part of Thor's storyline.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Black Widow, but I assume we're going to get a little bit more on the Natasha Romanoff backstory. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Yeah, we need to get.
We got to
maybe go to the theaters and see it. I'd like to go see it in theaters. I know it's on Disney Plus, but something to be said about the theater experience. So, anyways, I thought they could have done a little bit more with the Falcons storyline, and maybe we'll get a little bit more of that, down the road. But anyway, so goes back to New Orleans. Yep.
And then Bucky actually confronts Zemo around that time as well. Mm-hmm. And I thought he was going to kill him. Like I honestly thought he was going to kill him.
Yeah, I could have seen it going that route too. Yeah.
And that would have pissed me off. Like, no.
I can tell you're a Zemo fan.
I am a Zemo fanboy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I love complex, layered villains.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. But kind of moving forward to the finale, we basically see that Sharon Carter is the Shadow Broker, which was something that was really kind of hinted at when we first got reintroduced, and it's like, wow, what happened to her since Civil War?
Yeah.
Because, there was a massive personality shift between, 2016, which is where Civil War takes place, and then, 2023, which is when this show takes place.
She's a little bit more cutthroat.
Yeah. Basically, when she kills that guy with acid, whoa, okay, Sharon, you have really gone dark.
Yep.
But there is a fan theory, I think. I could be wrong, but there is a theory that Sharon was actually a Skrull.
Oh, that would almost make even more sense.
Yeah.
Really, given what you're saying, which is her complete,
I mean, it wasn't totally complete.
But a significant diversion from who she was to who we saw or who she was revealed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
interesting. I hadn't heard that.
But the one thing I really do love about that finale, the suit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Sam's new suit. Oh, comic book accurate Captain America Falcon suit.
Yeah.
Oh, God. They nailed it right there.
That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
To see that come to life. I was, because you thought it maybe was going to come to life earlier in the series.
Yeah.
But
I was kind of hoping for it too, but oh, man. The way they introduced it was perfect.
Yeah. It was great.
And then we also have Batroc coming back, not only in the first episode, but also the last episode. Mm-hmm. And then he basically gets shot by Sharon.
Yep.
Which I thought, ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
To be fair, Batroc didn't really have much of a role in Winter Soldier and not really in this show. So,
yeah.
I guess it kind of makes sense, but the way I see it, I just felt like that was a wasted opportunity.
Yeah. I could agree with that. I don't know that character well enough to really have an opinion one way or another, but
but kind of moving forward, I would say we've already talked about the Sharon Skrull thing, so I think that's definitely going to play a bigger part in the MCU going forward.
Yep.
But in terms of Captain America 4, I do think that U.S. Agent, which is John Walker's now the new moniker, he might be working for Hydra.
Really?
I think. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Because, God, what was that woman's name? It was Countessa.
I don't know, Matt.
It's been a while since I've watched the show, but her character, she was real shady right from the get-go, and I'm just like, oh, no. We're dealing with Hydra again.
Right. Well, it makes sense.
It could be AIM.
Which is what?
I'm forgetting the name. I'm forgetting what the acronym stands for, but that's another shady organization within Marvel. So they could be introducing them, but I feel like Hydra is probably the safer play, really.
Yeah. Well, they gotta introduce something.
Yeah. Because she's working for something.
Is that who it was? Count Nefaria.
Oh, yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that might have been her.
There you go.
But her name was Val also. Val was that was her first name or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's definitely working for for some organization
Yeah.
that's pulling.
There's more to that story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're definitely going to see that play out in Captain America 4.
Okay.
'Cause I think they've confirmed that.
Interesting. Okay. Now I can't remember, Matt. Were there any post-credit scenes on this series?
I can't remember either.
Okay. I always like to talk about that because those can be telling at times, but
Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't remember if there was or there was not. It's been a couple months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, what else do we have to cover?
I mean, other than that, I think we're pretty good.
Okay. All in all, I thought it was a really compelling series.
To be fair, I actually enjoyed it more than WandaVision.
Did you really?
Honest, I hated WandaVision at the start. I'll be the first to admit.
I know.
WandaVision really, it started off slow, but it definitely got better as it progressed.
See, I was the opposite. I liked this series. I preferred WandaVision. And I know the first 3 episodes were pretty brutal.
I mean they were brutal.
Because it was such a diversion from what Marvel was or is that it was like, what am I watching?
Exactly.
But no, I thought this was great, and I've heard that from some others and friends that the Loki series is even better.
Oh God, Loki was really good.
Yeah. So
I loved Loki, and the big effing twist right at the end.
Well,
whoa!
Don't spoil it because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a certain character that's been confirmed to play a major character in another Marvel movie.
Okay.
That appears right at the end.
I want to guess the movie. Give me a second here, and you can let me know if you think I'm right. I was going to say Fantastic Four.
Surprisingly close.
Okay.
Surprisingly close.
All right.
And once we talk about Loki, I'll explain why.
Okay. Is it the Silver Surfer then?
No.
Okay. X-Men.
It's not an X-Men character.
Okay. Just tell me what it is.
It's Ant-Man.
Oh, seriously?
The main villain was teased in this series.
Okay. Interesting. I would not have guessed that. So, well, anyways, I'm going to have to go binge watch, what is it, 6 episodes of Loki?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll get caught up, and we're going to have another episode on that. What else do we have on the docket, Matt, outside of the MCU for the next couple episodes?
I mean, we could do more NFL stuff. We can do maybe some baseball stuff. We can do, I would say, just probably more sports stuff in general.
Okay. Well, we got the NBA draft coming up at the end of next week.
Yeah, so we could also do that as well.
So we'll have to see how things shake out there, and then we'll get back on the docket. Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with us here on this MCU episode. Hope you enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was going to say Captain America, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier as much as we did.
Yeah.
If you've got any thoughts, questions, or anything, leave it in the comment. Matt, anything else?
Nope, I think we're good.
Awesome. Have a good one.